Hello, D Aeolian here. Full disclosure, I really don't know what the outcome of this video is going to be, but I kind of know what I want to talk about, and I want to keep it like this, really unplanned, because I want to share with you what goes on in my mind as I discover something on the instrument and how to direct my efforts, my practice efforts, to analyze that thing that I did and understand how can I take this cool thing that I found just by noodling and reuse it and add it to my own music vocabulary. Grab your guitar. We're going to search this right after this. Hello, my name is D Aeolian. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players around the world find their unique voice on the instrument, the guitar, to tell their own musical story. And today is completely unplanned, but there is value in it. So here is the word that came, the lick, that came when I was just playing. I just grabbed my guitar. I was just happening to sit here at my desk doing some mundane work, emails, and I was playing, noodling, and then that came out. I moved it around the fretboard a little bit. And now it's time to take a look at what that is so we can reuse it, and we will do that in this video. First, let me show you what this is. And when I say what this is, I'm not saying what this really is. I'm just going to show you how to play it, then we'll discover what that is. I'm starting on the first string with my pinky, 8th fret, with a downstroke, then upstroke on the 5th fret, still the first string, so we've got 8, 5, and because we did an upstroke, we're going to continue across the first 4 strings. We're going to sweep across with frets 5, 6, 7, 8. So you got 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then down on 5 of the 4th string. This kind of like flows under the fingers. Once you get this played fluidly, you can move it. It sounds cool, and it's really enjoyable to play. Now, in order to understand what a musical element is, we need the key that is going to unlock these things. And the key is, well, it should be here, somewhere here. The key is intervals. The distance between 2 notes will help you figure out things. But because you're not in my head, thankfully, I'm going to do the process on my computer using the Neck Diagrams app. If you don't know that app, that's the app that I use for all my diagrams. It's pretty awesome. This is not a review of neck diagrams. It's just to show you the process of figuring out, oh my gosh, what is this? I want to use it again. Let's take a look at the software. We have Neck Diagrams open, and my first step is to add on this empty diagram the notes of this lick. So we're going to do that in order of appearance. We had first string 8th fret followed by 5th fret, and when you had a note right here on the 6th, 7th, 8th, and another one right here. These notes exist, right? We hear them here. But when I want to reuse this, well, I need to use these notes in relation to something else, right? Over a backing track or with a friend when I'm jamming or whatever it is. So we need to do that. So each of these notes are something. They exist according to something else. Intervals, the distance between 2 notes. This first note that I played here on the first string 8th fret could be played in relation to a low E string open. Why not? To do anything. Or in relation to that A. The same note becomes something different depending on what's played underneath. We're going to keep things super easy, and we're going to say that one of these notes is going to be the magnet that attracts all the other notes. We're just going to start with that, okay? So I'm gonna pick this lowest note that I have right here. It's already selected, and I'm going to tell the software that this is a root. Once I do that, all the other notes are going to be given a number, an interval. So that lick, if I consider my lowest note, which was this one right here on the 5th fret of the 4th string to be a root, well, this lick is made of a root, a minor 3rd, a 5th, a minor 7th, a 2, and a 4. Okay, Now this is where it becomes interesting, because now that I have the magnet, I determined that the note that attracts everything else is going to be this one right here, which is found in our lick. Well, the other notes are going to have numbers, and that's going to help me determine where I can use this, what chord, what scale, what key. It's really going to be helpful. So let's go back to our diagram here, and we're now going to reorganize these notes in order of appearance. So again, all this process can be done mentally, but I want to show you what is going on here. So I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to copy and paste this one. So on top we have our original idea, and on the bottom we're going to reorganize the notes that we found in order of appearance. So this 2 right here that we have, well, we can move this 2 right here. It's also a 2. I have a flat 3. We do have a 4 right here. 4, 5. There's no 6. There is a 7th. So really we have here a 6-note scale. That's very close to a 7-note scale, right? Only one note is missing, and it's the 6th. So the 6th could be minor or major. What does that tell me? Well, that tells me that this particular idea can be played in a scale that has a 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7. And if I go back in my collection of scale, the only other options are Dorian and Aeolian. So this idea now can be Dorian. In this case, considering that the 4th string, 5th fret is the root, that's a G, this lick, this idea is a G Dorian lick. It's also a G Aeolian lick. It also works, right? Now that was just one possibility. We're going to try that in real time over a backing track and see how we can expand on this, but that's just one possibility, considering that this was the 1. But other notes can be the 1, right, in that lick. We'll do that after, but let's jam a little bit over a Dorian backing track, which, yes, you can get below. The link is in the top line of the description of this video. Free backing track and this that we're doing in real time. Go download it after watching this video, and let's jam a little bit using this lick over a G Dorian backing track. G Dorian, made of the 7 notes that we just talked about. So I have 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7. And we know that within this scale, the series of notes, I could play my word that I found earlier. It does work great. So we're going to phrase a little bit, trying to make this word a little more comfortable. Okay, little by little, it's getting a little more comfortable. Now remember, we said that that lick, that word, is also found in a different alphabet, not just the Dorian alphabet, but also Aeolian. And you might know that modes originally were all part of the major scale. I say originally because they still are, but I don't want you to think like that. I want you to think of Dorian as Dorian, Phrygian as Phrygian, not as Dorian as the 2nd degree of a major scale. That's not going to help you for this purpose. But we know that they do follow each other. So Dorian, I could play that lick. I need to find the equivalent Aeolian, the relative Aeolian to G Dorian, and that is D. Because if I play G Dorian, I have the same exact note that I find in D Aeolian. Just the same scale starting from a different note, but that means that I could use this lick in D Aeolian. Okay, so D Aeolian right here. I've got a D on the low E string 10th fret. I hope you're following here. If not, just rewatch this video, but I've got my D right here. If this is my 1 of the word that I played, I have another one here on the 4th string 12th fret. That means that this word right here could also work over the track, right? It does. So now I have 2 words. I have this one. Great. Now these 2 words can be embedded into my improv. Okay, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. But you get the idea, right? You can use those two things in your improv. And then you start making other connections like this. For example, a visual connection that I have here, if I go back to these two words that are part of the same scale, this one and this one. Well, this one right here, the first word that I played, the original one that started this kind of madness thing, well, this thing was visually, I'm looking at my G on the low E string 3rd fret. And the lick is based on this slice of the fretboard, one slice over. So I'm basically looking at this G, low E string 3rd fret, the octave higher 4th string 5th fret, that's where I build my lick. That's my visual reference point, which I can take an octave higher right here. So I've got my G right here, 4th string, this time 17th fret. And that happens on the right side of my traditional minor pentatonic scale, right? That first slice of the fretboard. Well, I can look at this same slice of the fretboard, the low E string 15th fret for the G, but this time on the left side, well, and I have the lick that was based on the D Aeolian. So now I have this. They're closer to each other, allowing me to make that connection will help me in my improv when I develop something. So we're going to try this. Again, back to our track. Link is below for that. I'm going to try to get into it, not rush anything like I just did. Let me go a little higher, an octave higher. And so forth. So the more I play like this, the more connections are made. And I told you that we can, that's just one way to do it. Let's go back to our chart here. Because what we did here was using the G as the one, but anything can be the one, right? So we're going to try this. I'm going to take my, my notes here and we'll try something different. Delete that. So instead of having this G as the one, well, we could take this note as the one. Why not? This note that was also found in that word, right? I could take this. That's my one. So what happens if I do this? I'll have a new series of intervals. This time I have a 1, a 3, a 5, a 7, a 2, and a 6. Okay, we're going to use this below. I got a 1. This will be my 1. Do I have a 2 in there? Yes, I do. We'll place the 2. Well, the 2 is right here, but I can take this an octave lower right here. We do have a 3. Do we have a 4? Nope, there's no 4. Do we have a 5? Yes, we do right here. Do we oops, right here? Do we have a 6? Yes, we do. It's played right here, but I can play it an octave higher. Do we have a 7? Yes. So in this case, we also have one missing note, and the missing note is the 4. So if I look back at my scales, well, this could be Ionian with a perfect fourth. It could also be Lydian with an augmented fourth. So a lot of different possibilities, right? So I could take this and think of it as, let's see, this note right here, that's a B flat Lydian. Or B flat Ionian, and I can transpose that. You see how the possibilities are really endless? That's kind of the idea behind taking a thing that happened just by playing and exploring where it can lead you. I hope you followed this lesson. That, yes, was not very structured, but I think there's value in it. That's how I find new ideas, and I think it's a good idea to try them. I hope I didn't lose you with the scales, but that's kind of how I develop my understanding of music theory. It starts with playing and playing, just having fun on your instrument. And then once you find something, a word, a lick, a chord that is worth keeping, that's where you take the steps that we just took here. Now, it's a mental step. You can use software like this one to help you, but I find this approach very valuable because that's how you can expand on your vocabulary. I hope this made sense. This was not a planned video, but I think there's value into it. Just if you get anything out of this video, just practice, play, and once you find something that feels good, that sounds good, take that step, because that will allow you to not just have a fleeting moment of an idea that is interesting, but it will allow you to take that idea, understand it, and use it without really having to think about it next time you play it by using these intervals. Remember, you can get the backing track below and these charts that we just used. And if this was your first visit, thanks for watching this video till the end. Consider subscribing if you liked what you saw, because every week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I release a new video like this one, helping guitar players around the world find their unique voice on the instrument, develop that voice to tell their own personal musical story. Nobody in the world can play the way you play. It's just a matter of figuring out how to express those things that are inside of you using your pencil. Thanks for watching this. I'll see you very soon. Practice well.